Welcome to the concept of one drum world. We're celebrating 200 years of the birth of Baha'u'llah and the Bab. What we're trying to gather here is a spirit of oneness around the world. That's what we want. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're drumming for. We're drumming for that consistency and understanding of the spirit. And it's the spirit that makes the change. Drumming is a great way to bring peace. Children love it, old people love it, whether you drum with one hand at a time or your elbow, it doesn't matter. If you got two fingers and all you can do is run two fingers on the drum, that's fine. The point is, do it together. Do it with love. Do it with joy. You don't have to be an expert to do it. You find yourself wanting to drum with someone and you don't have a professional drum such as we have, go to the local hardware store, buy a bucket, buy a wooden spoon, and get one of the pots out of the kitchen, and knives and forks and all those things, and old grandma's washboard, and you will find a tune. You will find a song. You will find a rhythm. You will find fun. We're trying to teach you to love one another in every way possible with the use of a drum. You don't have to personally drum for 2 hours alone. The idea is to have someone drumming during this period. And a group like this would be excellent for the period. We're talking 2 hours, the 2-hour shifts as we call it. And what we would like to see is just the spirit of oneness going throughout the whole drumming process. So it isn't so much a special beat you have to have. It isn't a special attitude you have to have, but we do want you to find joy and unity in the concept of one drum world. The idea of one drum world came out of a session that we had at the Baha'i Center in Kansas City, Missouri. And we were discussing some of the things that we could do for the bicentennial. And someone in the group had mentioned having devotions for 48 hours. And I thought that was a good idea. But then the idea was quickly pierced because of the Black Men's Gathering that we ought to have 48 hours of drumming because the spirit of drumming is stronger than regular meditation when you have the spirit in the room. You may have noticed when I was talking about meditation a minute ago that you went into a different space because that's the way our heart is. And the importance about having this whole 48 hours drumming is to meditate on the word of Baha. All the words, all the readings, and the whole idea of having people register from a Baha'i perspective is to make sure that the drumming sessions are within context of the guidance of Baha'i faith and not be somewhere else or drinking parties and having a good time in that way. It's a spiritual thing. And the drumming is a unifying effect, it has a unifying effect, and if you recognize it and you start to play together, you will start to feel the beauty of the drums within you. It isn't something someone can teach, it's something you feel. And it's that feeling, that spiritual feeling, that we want worldwide. We've already got people registering from other countries, particularly Ghana, and we know Brazil would be involved, and in the Caribbean will be involved. So we know we're going to have people for this whole 48-hour period. And the period actually starts on the 20th. And the 20th at 2:30 Central Standard Time in Kansas City, Missouri. Our group in Kansas City will start the drumming. Now, the idea of 48-hour drumming isn't just for that period from the 20th to the 22nd, that 48 hours. It all begins even now. If you notice, we're participating in this. And the idea of drumming and drumming up a conversation you see on the website is the idea of us having a conversation about drumming. And you don't have to be the world-class drummer to have this conversation. So the conversation about drumming for the 48 hours begins now, as we are doing now. And the idea is to discuss the principles and virtues of the Baha'i faith during that period. So you say you're not Baha'i? fine. Some of the teachings, I'm sure you'll understand, have already accepted, coming from other manifestations of God. The virtues are there regardless of what religion you have. If you drum for justice, if you drum for oneness, it's all the same from a Baha'i perspective.